look at Randy Orton slithering.
Oh, watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out!
KO! Here's the cover.
Hey, what's up guys? Back another game here today. Or games, I should say. And this time we're going to be taking a look at the tier 8 in the Russian light tech tree. AKA my favorite tank. And I know some people have been waiting for this for me to put commentary over some of the games I have in this beast. And fair enough. The first game is on my favorite spawn and map in the game. This is my first game of a session, and I was very happy to see this because I basically figured I was going to have a really, really good result, and sure enough, that came true. So I'm just going to do a quick show you how I like to play this tank. I'm going to do this for each and every tier in the light tank tree. Well, tier 8 to tier 10, just because I don't have enough crews to switch them around the tier 6, tier 7 tanks. So it's more focused on the high tier tanks in the tech tree. So the next video should be on the lightweight. But let's see, we go into the standard position, you know, north spawn, light them all up going across the hill, especially with my 18 per crew. It's just, it's easy. That one got shot out of a potato gun. But we're going to pick this guy off super easily here now. I'm not even going to bother with a bush, which is a little risky. But with my crew, I feel fairly safe that I'm not going to get spotted, especially in a tier 8 game. So we move up a little more worried about getting spotted, but we spot their RD crossing for some reason, so I immediately focus him. I want to get all of the wonderful RD players out of the game as quick as possible. So to go a little bit into this tank as we get spotted finally after killing him by their light tanks that are pushing up, is this tank really excels in that active scout role, which you've probably noticed in some of the games before I posted on this. And that's just because of the great power to rate ratio of this tank. And this thing can easily hit 70 to 75 kph. And it turns at really high speeds really well. At low speeds it turns really well. It stops in just an instant. So it's real mobile, real easy tank to just fly around in. It's just something I've always liked about it. You gotta worry about that a little bit though. If you're not used to it, it can get you in trouble, especially when you're on surfaces like the asphalt that are a little more slick in terms of how the tanks handle. So you gotta kind of watch that. Because if you're not used to it, you can end up sliding right off a bridge, which I've seen many times. I've even done to an extent. Some cases. We're going to take this guy real quick, and then we're going to fall back super, super quick, because I really wasn't expecting him to pop up right there. But and another thing about this thing that's great with the great top speed is that even if people hit you, there's still a good chance they can bounce, especially in tier 8 games like this, because of the armor. And I think that's because it has, what is it, 90 millimeters on the front? I should know this right by heart. Just look. Yeah, it has 90 on the front, 45 on the sides, and 40 on the rear. Which the rear is, it's the least armored, but at the same time, it's almost the most armored because of the sloping on the back. I mean, it's so severe. I think the best result I ever had was a T-62 chasing me, and he bounced 3 times off my ass of this tank, and I got some wonderful messages from that guy. But yeah, it's not something you want to rely on, obviously, but you can semi-rely on it against some tanks, especially like tier 6 light tanks. If you just angle and just kind of charge and do a little juke towards them, they're gonna most of the time bounce. Now this guy, I'm just gonna try to lead him right here, and we're just gonna take him out really easily. You're not gonna challenge me in this thing. You see, we're already winning this game 6-1. Going a little crazy here. I'm not sure how that one hits. And something there you can see is I went over that little tiny bump. Is that this thing only has 5 degree to gun impressions now, which is better than it used to have. But it also only has 15 degrees of gun elevation. So here we go a little crazy. We're going to try to track him. And then we do the juke and get up next to him. This is a little risky. I'd say it's extremely risky. I don't recommend this to most people. Is tracking him, and there's still a Yazi and a few other tanks on their ridge, which in a few seconds they're going to turn around and start shooting this way. So this is probably not the best play, but we make it work because we have some, yeah. Why not? Let's see right there, we get smacked by the Yazi. Not exactly, I want to get out of here because the thing has a pretty good rate of fire. I try to kill the AT-15, but it's just not worth it. I immediately start diving down towards the cover of the rocks so I can get out of his line of sight. But if you're not used to playing this thing, it can throw you for a loop a little bit, just because, like I said, on the move, it can be tricky if you just go over little tiny bumps and stuff. So you have to know when to shoot. You have to pay attention to the ground, be familiar with the terrain you're on, so that you don't send your shots into the ground or into the air because you went over a rock or something. That is one of the disadvantages of this tank. But at this point, I'm fairly used to it, at least my personal sense. So, but the thing has such good power to weight ratio, and like I said, it's so mobile that it's something you can even do to like kind of limit that. Is like going up little tiny cliffs, little hills, like push your tank up so that you can get the gun depression. And usually I'm not sitting in areas where I'm sitting still very often, so as most know in this tank, I'm Mr. Active in this thing. I'm Mr. Active in most light tanks, but you see we just do little pokes. The gun's fairly good for this tank actually. It's kind of surprising for most Russian tanks because it has pretty good aim time. I think it's the same aim time as the RU 251, and the accuracy isn't bad either, to be fair. The only thing it's a little iffy with is the penetration on the standard rounds. It's still good, 170, but that can be lacking compared to even some of the other tier 8 light tanks like the German Bulldog, which has like 180 something, I think. So it can struggle at times. So I also carry a healthy amount of APCR in this thing. That's why, because the APCR adds like 46 millimeters of pen up to like 216, which is really good, especially going against like VKs and German super heavies like this, which are pretty the norm these days in terms of what they're adding to the game. Is a lot of like super heavy tanks. So you see, we're just able to farm these guys really at this range. They're not going to spot me at 400 meters even if I'm not using the bush right. So we're able to finally get shut down. We're not able to secure the top gun in that game, but you can see we picked up close to 7K combined. Actually, yeah, 7K combined means we did 3,900 damage, 3,100 assist. Like I said, I saw that map load and I knew it was going to be a good game. And we're also able to pick up the Scout Medal. And this was one of the first games back, so yeah, the 100%'s not there. But that didn't take long to get back up, I'll be honest. It's like this game and then the next one I'm going to show you, it was right back up. Because I know that's going to probably come up. So you see that was 2,300 base, a really, really good game, as should be expected. So moving on to the next game, it's a little different. It's a little less assist and a little more tense. It's not as of a steamroll or a guaranteed game, and it's not the map you would expect to do really well on in a light tank, I think. So, why I had this moment, I don't know if I was going to do it at the beginning of the video. You guys should go check out Rest No More's YouTube channel. He's a new guy to producing content for World of Tanks console. And I always try to promote all the channels that I can that come out that I know people make note of that are making good content. So I'll leave a link to his channel in the description, so you guys should go check him out. He's doing commentary and such, and just doing some tank reviews, stuff that I probably don't have the time for, like tank reviews. this is probably his tank review-ish that I'm going to get, because I just don't have the time or the software really to edit it, or the skills to a level that I want. But you should definitely go check him out. Like I said, I'll go leave that in the description for y'all. I gotta stop saying that. But you see here we're on Severgors? Pretty sure. Forget the name of all the maps sometimes, but I'm pretty sure I'm right there. So I was going to go over here and use my usual spot for light tanks with little gun depression, but I don't commit, and that's a good idea because we see two of their lights gear there, and I may be good, and a third one pops up. I may be good, but I'm not that good. I know when to call it a day and reposition and just try to find a different avenue, even if our main one is kind of taken at this point. So this is kind of iffy now because I really don't want to go to the other spawn. There is a light tank spot, which I have a video of where I like to go when I have gun depression. I'm going to scout from this spawn, which will be posted eventually. I think it's in the Tusk, but I like to go to that right side. But that's only if I have gun depression. There's a really good spot you can use if you have support. But if I don't have gun depression, or if I don't have support on that flank that they're on right now, the 40 TP I'm looking at, I don't go over there because there's no cover and you can't really escape quite too easily. So I like going to the left when I have support. But when those light tanks got me off, it's kind of forced me to play a more passive role right now. And right now I'm just kind of waiting, seeing if somebody makes a mistake, crosses into the center. And there's our victim. It's the M41 Bulldog. We're going to go in on him. We see he's already got another Bulldog going after him, so he's just in a misplaced situation. He's just too far pushed up into our base, so we're going to come in and just hopefully take him out. The first shot, I just RBRT him. I think it maybe should have hit, but it's not the end of the world. So we only get one shot of damage into him, but that's one shot of damage we weren't getting anyways, so we were kind of just in no man's land at this point. So now the game's starting to develop, and I'm starting to get a feel of where they have tanks, where they don't have tanks. So they steamrolled at our flank fairly easily. I kind of figured that was going to happen. That's why I didn't push over there. We only had tier 6s, and they had a KV5 and a T28 Prot going that way, and I believe a Tiger 2 as well. So I didn't really want any business with that. So now we're going to get a little crazy here in the LTTB. I don't recommend this, but this is just me being kind of crazy. We're going to ram the LTTB, or the light tank. Just ignore that other guy. He misses. We're not quite able to pick up the kill on him, but now we're going to go after the STG. Just kind of try to juke him, and we're able to do that. I don't suggest ramming an LTG. Probably not the best idea. But this all works in the end, and now we're going to stop because we're not going to get around this guy, so we're just going to stop and aim for his lower plate and take him down. Not a regular type of play I would recommend to anybody, but it worked. We weren't winning this game, so I think I needed to make some kind of drastic play. You can say it's 6-11 at this point. And now we're just going to try to finish off this Bison. And we're going to use him as cover from the T28. I don't want to take a 400 damage shot. I could flank him at this point, but I'd have to eat a shot. So instead of that, I just turn around using that big Bison's turret as cover and just dip on out and leave him be for right now. I figure I can outflank him, outmaneuver him at a later date, so I just leave him. I'm not concerned about a turretless TD that is basically really easily taken out by a tank like this. I'm more concerned with the tanks that have turrets. Just at the end of the game, they're more of a threat, and we see the first of many helpful moments from our Artie player in the French Artie. Just keep an eye on him. He's going to be a big help this whole game. Towards the end here, you see we've only got 3 tanks left versus there's 7 at this point. Now we're able to not put a shot into the enemy already because, well, RNG is a thing. And yeah, that's not going to be quite as too much, but right now I'm just trying to light them up, see where their other heavy is. And he's on the map right now to our right. So I have APCR loaded for the KV5. I know I was going to get spotted, but at least get some damage off of him. He was basically full health, so we got to eat him up. That's going to take a lot of ammo, so I figure I'm going to go to AP rounds because I know I'm going to need those rounds for that tank because the AP rounds just aren't going to go through easily. Now here I was kind of considering staying and drawing the Tiger 2 in and circling him, but then I check the map and I see that the KV5 is kind of coming and supporting him, so I'm like, I'm not going to try that. So I try to get away without getting spotted, but the Tiger 2 was just coming up as I was running away. So if the Tiger 2 had been alone there, I probably would have stayed, drawn him into that back circle area and got his flank. But considering he had help, yeah, I'm not going to do it at this at that time. Now at this point I was like, okay, they're already going to die because that's the T-28 Prot going after him, or yeah. But somehow he takes out the T-28 Prot, so that's 2 Tier 8 TDs he's killed at this point. So that's a huge help. So there I was getting spotted by Tiger 2. I kind of just did a little deke or juke with the spotting mechanics. I acted like I was going to go back to spawn. And as soon as I got unspotted, I went down the low ground and then dipped down and went into this bush that I knew was here. Now here, I probably should have backed up a little tiny more and I could have got shots into this guy without getting spotted, now that I look at that. And we see our artie's going in again. He's going in again to distract this guy. And we're able to shoot the shot on the Tiger 2, which is lucky. But we see our little tier 6 artie going in, and he's going to distract this Tiger 2. And that allows us just to chew shots into this guy, which is great. So I see that, and now I get the hunter eyes, I guess, that I'm going in for the kill. Now that I've got this guy just whittling him down and distracted. See, he's just like piece of candy. Ooh, a piece of candy, and that's the artie. We're a little unlucky. So, one, we low roll and leave him on like 0 hit points. And 2, we eat a shot from the KV5, who's now just shown up. But I see the KV5, see I've got a bone between him, and I see the artie spotted, so I'm going to take the artie out while I've got this building between me and the KV5. Now I start to see the KV5 roll this way, so I dip out and go right down to the riverbed. It's a little close because I'm like trying not to get shot because I really don't want to try to fight this, and then we flip because you take the corner too hard. Now I'm lucky here with the KV5. I don't think he realized I was upside down, or maybe he was just too slow. I don't know. Also the artie misses, which is always great. So now I have the KV5, and I'm kind of by myself against him at this time, as our artie takes out their artie. Again, MVP time. I try to sneak by him, but the KV5 is so damn tall, and I may have been within range anyways. So, yeah. I'm still going to try to go in for a shot here, but then I'm like, yeah. No. No offense. Never mind. I don't remember all these videos, but I see now he's looking back at this way, so I'm going to just kind of dip out, act like I'm running away, and just kind of keep him an idea of where I'm going to see. And that's always what you want to do, is look for like little tiny shots like that. It really help. It's really to just chip health off this guy, which is really what we need to do right now. I really wish I could have tracked this guy in that spot. Would have been a lot less stressful. And we kind of making this play here. We didn't think he was going to turn towards us, and he's able to snap a shot. And now we see he's going piece of candy for the artie again. So we're able to pop up here and just chew into this guy's cupola. The poor R2-D2 weak spot. And when you let this tank just start firing like this, especially with micro, you can see a 4.3 second reload time. 180 alpha, you're just going to tear into him. And then he finishes him off for his 5th kill in tier 6 already on that. So again, I think I still could have pulled this game off, but it would have been a lot harder. Having him be that little like distraction the whole game was really helpful. It just made me able to just put shots into their side. And you see he's able to pick up 2,300 damage. And I was able to pick up 4,500. And just use him as bait, basically. So, it was GG to him. Which isn't something I say very often to Artie. But, yeah. I hope this gives you a fairly decent idea of how I like to play this tank. I'll probably go more depth into it because I know you're going to be more LTTB games in the future. So I'll catch you next time. See you. Hey, what's up guys? Back another game here.